Tampa. I really like this kid.
Oh yeah, TJ. Look, this is your prototypical build at the cornerback position in everyday NFL life. 6'2", 200 pounds, 22 years old. Got strength. He has the physicality to press you at the line of scrimmage, and of course, that's what Dan Quinn wants to do in a press cover defense. Very physical. Don't sleep on the fact that just because he's played in the Big 12, this guy brings it every Saturday. He has a swagger to himself. You see right here. This guy, he has the ball skills and he's able to play the ball when necessary. I love his trail technique. I feel like this guy can play in any defensive scheme. Now, of course, he's 6'2", so obviously the taller guys are typically going to have problem with those small, shiftier guys like I'll throw a name out there, maybe like a Tyreek Hill of sorts. Obviously, that's Tyreek, but those guys, they'll probably get a little bit of trouble. But one thing I like to say about him, he's battle tested. I love the physicality, and he's a guy that, look, at 36 or 40, I will pull the trigger. And I know there's some questions about the secondary, especially at the cornerback position. Forbes should be better in the scheme. Quan Martin, St. Juice, we'll see how that goes with him. They signed Michael Davis, but this guy, he can be an instant starter for your defense. Great ball skills.
Go ahead, Kyle.
I absolutely agree. This was my first cornerback that I kind of scouted and I really loved going into this draft process. When you talk about the Joe Witt, Dan Quinn defense and being the violent, aggressing, going after the football type, TJ Tampa fits the bill. Does he have the top end speed to be able to contend with the elite of the wide receivers? No. But what you saw, and I thought Adam's film breakdown and what he showed were fascinating. Because the one element of TJ's game that highlights there, unless you kind of speak on it, it's hard to gauge. But watch what he does in zone. In zone, he's very comfortable. He has that instinct to read what's happening. He sees that corner route coming. He comes from underneath and comes up and catches the football. That one tackle he has at the line of scrimmage where he blows up, I think it was the tight end there. He sees that route developing instinctively and then collapses and charges and delivers a big hit. TJ Tampa is one of the most fascinating players in this draft. Being 6'1", 189 pounds with 32 and 8 arms. He has the arm length to be able to do it. He has the length, the height to be able to go against the taller guys. And he has the physicality to kind of fit in the run game and in the pass game. I think he's going to be very dependent on where he goes. But TJ Tampa is a guy that I feel very comfortable with, that I think that could be Joe Witt's stamp on this defense, saying this is the start moving forward. But I just don't know how much are we going to invest in corner with having two secondary pieces added in the first 2 rounds last season.
And that's a big question. It's a big question. But like Kyle was talking about pre-shows that, hey, look, they ain't drafting, right? Like this new regime ain't drafting. And, it don't seem like they like this roster too much, right? So you never know.
And I will say this, there are a bunch of guys in this draft class that fit the Joe Witt, Dan Quinn mold that we're going to talk about here. But one thing I've been wanting to, I said to you guys in the group chat, are we kind of overthinking this? Like, because there are a lot of tall corners on this roster already. Could they be possibly looking to get the more speedy man-to-man sort of corner in here to play, that nickel sort of sense?
TJ Tampa, Adam.
Yeah, no, I really like him. I looked at him back in December. He was the first corner I looked at. His size really jumped out. Again, I like these former receivers, former basketball players. They really show, not in all cases, but in his case, how he can explode out of his stance. I really like, how he attacks the ball in the air. But again, you see a lot with these, especially these press man guys. They get too handsy. It's pretty consistent, with guys coming out of the college level. But he just seems, Kyle talked about with, Mitchell, calm and collected. I see that with Tampa, solid hitter, not one of these guys just throwing his shoulders, looking for the knockout blow, technician in that department. But What I like is, solid and run support. So he's not a guy that you're going to have to shy away from on first and second down and, rotate him in and out. But I think he's got a really high ceiling. I think if he went to, one of the bigger SEC schools, we'd probably be hearing a lot more about him. But I think, he's one of my surprises that I think, even though I have him as a second round grade, I would not be surprised to see somebody at the end of the first round take a bite on him, because I think even though the kid Alabama is really good too, I could definitely see him being the second corner.